5 true and frightening doppelganger cases. Have you experienced seeing double? Perhaps you thought it was a long-lost identical twin or someone from a parallel universe who looks and acts exactly like you do. It's your doppelganger, translated in German as Doppelwalker. Doppelgangers are a living person's ghostly apparition or double, and here are 5 true and frightening cases that prove they're real. Number 5. Abraham Lincoln. Even the 16th President of the United States of America wasn't spared from the so-called doppelganger phenomenon. In his 4 years of presidency, Abraham Lincoln led the nation through the bloody American Civil War, preserved the Union, abolished slavery, strengthened the federal government, and modernized the U.S. economy. He could have served a full second term, but his wife Mary Todd knew it wouldn't happen because of a bad omen: Lincoln's frightening experience of seeing his doppelganger. Right after his first presidential election in 1860, Honest Abe claimed that he saw his own reflection on a swinging glass while sitting on a couch. But here's the catch. He saw 2 images of himself, and the second image looking pale and ghostly. Startled, he got up and looked in the glass, but the image vanished. Lincoln's doppelganger reappeared on the glass when he laid down on the couch again. A few days later, Lincoln saw his doppelganger for the last time. His wife Mary was right that her husband's doppelganger meant bad luck for Lincoln, as he was assassinated 42 days into his second term. Number 4. Sir Frederick Carne Rasch. Is it possible that a person can't meet his own doppelganger but be sighted by other people? Apparently this was true in the case of British Parliament member Sir Frederick Carne Rasch, a respected, hardworking, conservative British politician. He loved to argue about various issues, so it was a rare occasion when Rasch was absent during a 1906 parliamentary debate. He was bedridden due to a harmful case of influenza. But his colleagues, particularly Sir Gilbert Parker, spotted Rasch sitting right by. Surprised yet pleased, Parker sat next to Rasch and said politely, "I hope you're feeling better." Rasch didn't react in any way, so Parker focused on the ongoing debate. When he glanced at Rasch again, he was gone, so a bewildered Parker looked for his friend in the lobby, but no one had seen him. However, other members of the parliamentary attested to seeing Rasch too. When Rasch himself found out about the incident, he was quite unsurprised. He had really wanted to take part in the debate, so to him, it made sense that his spirit became his proxy. Number 3. Guy de Maupassant. In 1887, a short horror story entitled La Orla, written by celebrated 19th century French author Guy de Maupassant, was published. What is more frightening is the tale behind how the short story was written, told by the author himself. De Maupassant claimed that he had long been stalked by his own doppelganger, and that it had dictated La Orla for him to write. Toward the end of his life, his interaction with his doppelganger became a regular occurrence, and it wasn't just sightings of his spectral duplicate. His doppelganger actually verbalized to Maupassant an unnerving story of a man whose consciousness is slowly consumed by an invisible entity that uses him as its host. It led the man to conclude that he must kill it or himself. The result was the short story La Orla, which seemed to mirror de Maupassant's claims of his own experiences, and so a complete mental breakdown was inevitable. Right after that, de Maupassant was sent to an asylum where he couldn't stop talking about that frightening doppelganger and died of dementia the following year. Number 2. Victoria Brandon. Victoria Brandon is an English professor, newspaper and magazine writer, and author of 2 novels and a book entitled Understanding Ghosts. One of her paranormal encounters involved her doppelganger, a kind of an evil spirit twin, for, in her own words, "My doppelganger was the product of a near accident on the road." Brandon recounted that one night she was driving around a curve in the highway when a huge truck was coming at her on the wrong side of the road. What she felt then was like a suspension of consciousness, that instead of being aware of the careening truck, Brandon saw her doppelganger sitting next to her. It was dressed in a starched blue and white cotton dress, as I was. Its hands were folded passively, and its head dropped forward on its chest, she said. She strongly sensed that this twin had an evil smile on its face, and she felt an overwhelming feeling of malevolence coming from it. Thankfully, the truck swerved harmlessly out of her way, and her scary doppelganger just disappeared. Number 1. Émilie Sagi. For more than a century now, the doppelganger case of French teacher Émilie Sagi has become one of the most cited and most prolific cases. The irony was, Émilie never saw her doppelganger, but everyone, especially her students, did, which frightened them and their parents. Thus, it troubled Emily's teaching profession that in a span of 16 years she was employed in 19 different schools. And in 1845, Pensionat van Nolwicki, an exclusive girls' school where the then 32-year-old Emily taught, found out why. In that school, many witnessed how Emily became the center of some very strange doppelganger activities. The first was when her spectral twin suddenly appeared beside her while Emily was writing on the board, and it was seen by her 13 students. Succeeding sightings had her doppelganger sitting beside Emily, mirroring her as she ate and did everyday tasks. In one instance, Emily was outside of the classroom gardening while her 42 students were sewing. Then her doppelganger took her place inside the room. These incidents frightened people that Emily was let go by the school, despite being a very capable teacher. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to our channel for your daily fix of awesome infotainment.